The Flashpoint Paradox. So this is part of my ongoing series of Flash-related reviews. Next week we'll be talking about this Flash. But today we're talking about the DC animated movie based on the Flashpoint comic, which I talked about last week. So you can go watch my video on that. And this DC animated movie is very interesting because it is a direct adaptation of the Flashpoint story, and most of it is one-to-one. There's a few moments that are not, but honestly, there won't really be any hindrance to the story, and they actually improve upon things within this movie. And I'm not going to spoil what those things are. I think you should definitely watch this movie and read the comic. They're both fantastic. And if you don't know, the Flashpoint Paradox story is a story where Barry Allen changes the timeline of the DC Universe. That's what the new Flash movie's based on. And so if you like that idea, this is a great story. And it's one of the best Flash stories ever written and animated. And I gotta say, really watching this DC animated movie and another one I bought recently just really shows me that, like, DC animated movies have really lowered in quality. Like, the animation and direction to this one are awesome. Like, I was noticing, like, when you're seeing young Barry at the beginning of the movie, and you got this beautiful animation, the different colors to it and stuff. You don't really see that in the new DC animated stuff. And I think part of it is, like, they're kind of all over the place. They're starting to let other studios animate stuff, so some of them are hit or miss. Then you're also getting a lot of, like, just rush jobs because they make so many of these movies a year. I remember when I didn't keep up with them, and I was like, God, I need to watch this one, that one. It was hard to catch up. Now I just pre-order all of them and review them on the channel for you guys. But it does mean that these DC animated movies kind of suck now. I mean, there's some that are really good still, and there's other ones that aren't. But still, a lot of them aren't as great as, like, this one, you know. And I think this might be the best out of all of them. Out of the major ones I've seen. I've seen it twice, and I could easily watch it a third one. A lot of the DC animated movies kind of feel like one-time watches that are cool, and you know, they tell a decent story or whatever, but they don't feel like something I can rewatch. This one and some of the older ones definitely do, and I think that's great. And it's this is one that perfectly adapts the story. It has some cool animation. It has some great voice actors in here who do great jobs in performance. And it adds layers and emotions to the comic. Because, you know, it's one thing reading that. I feel like I get more out of actually watching it in this movie. I think that's great. And it's just a really solid movie. If you like the DC animated stuff, definitely check this one out. It's fantastic. Hopefully they remaster this one to 4K like they do with some of their other DC animated movies. I think they will. This one's pretty popular. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe.